So welcome to this video, this Chad Clark Physical Therapy Connections in Pueblo, Colorado. This goes out to pretty much everyone, even in the world, but especially locally. And I'm kind of just starting and hopefully to do at least one video a day with myself and the rest of our staff to help you guys out, especially the people that have had surgery. They happen to get their elective surgery. I'm going to take total knee to start with because that's one of the more popular ones. Although you're going to see some overlap that you can do this with a total hip replacement. I'm going to give you the top 3 things. There's many things you can do, and even when we see someone and have all the time to work with them under different circumstances, it still boils down to 3 things that you need to know and to do while you're at home, whether you're in a self-quarantine or any type of quarantine situation or not. If you have no equipment, I guarantee what you have at home, you need. What you need, you have. The floor, a doorway, a chair. I'll show a couple things, but it's pretty minimal. So you have a total knee, whether it's both a left or a right knee. Always train both sides, each side, one at a time, especially if it calls for a one at a time exercise. When it's a two-legged, obviously you're going to train both at the same time. So the top thing, if you had to pick just one of those 3, definitely make sure you work on a sit to stand up. Sit to stand up. Now, you could just do it just like this. I'm going to put a few qualifications on that. You want to make sure you start high, and I know you don't want to go low anyway because your knee's not bending probably as much as you'd like it to yet. This is set at 24 inches. Most people's knee joint, which I'll measure in here on a lot of people, mine happens to be right around 18 inches. So anything higher than 18 is going to work. The higher the better at first. Make error on the side of easier. You want to firmly plant both feet. Try to keep them as equal, parallel to each other as possible. Push the ground down. That intention is the most important thing. Some people, they just get up any old way, but really do like a mini stomp and really ground yourself. Put imaginary glue underneath your feet. So imagine your feet are glued to the ground. Push the floor down. Push the earth away. And then when you sit down, stick your butt out and back. That's going to keep a good hip and knee position. I did this with someone yesterday, and he was trying to do way too much knee and kind of slide his knees. Once he used the hips, it became much easier. You want to do 5 times in a row or 5 repetitions and then leave it alone for a while. You're going to get up anyway. Just the intention is to get up properly 5 times in a row throughout the day. So if you did those 5 reps, then you do another 5 reps in an hour, and then another hour later, and another hour later. So by the end of the day, you might have 10 sets of 5 reps as an example. That's 50 solid, good repetitions. Instead of just trying to slug through all 50 in a row, you'll have 50 good ones by the end of the day, 5 at a time. So that's the sit to stand. That's number 1. Number 2, and by the way, that works both the straightening on the way up and the bending on the way down. As it gets easier, try to find something lower and lower. The goal is to get to a 14-inch seat height. I know that sounds far away and really tough, but you can do it in just 1 inch per week. A couple months later, you're down to a 14-inch seat. A second thing that might require 2 chairs or a chair and a stool is if you have only one knee replacement, start with your non-knee replacement side, your quote-unquote better side. Put it up on a chair. If it straightens out, great. If it doesn't, that's fine too. You're going to lean forward to feel this stretch. Once you're in a stretch position, whether you use your hands or not, you're going to rotate the leg 10 minimum up to 20 times in a row. So all the way in, it's going to be tighter going in for most of you, and then out. This gets all 4 parts of the hamstring stretched out. It allows the hip to help the knee and get the full straightening with support. Then it might be tough and you might have to use your band or a towel to get the leg up. Probably won't straighten, and that's okay. You just want to lean to where you feel the pull, and once again, rotate 10 to 20 times, add a little bit of compression. We find rotation and compression and the help of gravity will pull this knee down straighten. It won't work like this that fast, but you kind of see the point where little by little. This works the straightening. First one works some strengthening and bending and straightening. This works the straightening of the knee. A third one, and I'm trying to go in order of importance. Sit to stand, the seated leg stretch to work on straightening. Another one is some form of stepping. If you have steps and you're going up and down the steps, that'll be your third exercise. If you don't and you want to have a lot of support, get 2 chairs, always have your safety net behind you, just in case. Use them as much or as little as needed. What you're going to do is a step over, real simple. You're going to shift your weight to one side, keep everything as still as possible, and attempt to bring the other leg over, keeping the hip, knee, and ankle in alignment. Lightly touch the heel or your foot, that's fine, on the other side. I know there's nothing here, but I'm acting as if there was something that I'm stepping over and returning. At first, you might just barely clear a couple inches. You just want to make sure you're getting some knee bend. This is a nice alternative if you don't have access to a bike. Bikes are very popular. Getting on the recumbent or a stationary bike. I'm not against them. We're not against them here. What I tell everyone is most people don't have a bike, or they don't have, now health clubs are closed. You don't have access to a stationary bike. This motion, if this wasn't here, and I just kept going through, it's as if I'm cycling, and you get the benefit of getting balance on the other leg. So one leg is your stabilizing, balancing leg. So stabilize, balancing, while the other leg is getting the motion. It's going to be a little rough at first, but little by little, you want to go higher and higher. The goal, show you from a side view, is to get this foot to go to the opposite knee height. So if your knee height is 18 inches, in a couple months, you should be able to get close to 18 inches and step over and return. If you'd like a little bit of variety, you can do that sideways. And then eventually we'd even add like a rotational component. But to keep it simple for now, just work on getting it higher and higher, stepping over. So the 3, real quick summary. You have a sit to stand for bending and straightening. You have a leg rotational stretch for the straightening. And then you have a step over in different directions as needed. That should keep you going for a couple weeks, even a couple months, depending on how long all this quarantine and whatever your situation is like right now. That should keep you going for quite a while. If you have any questions, we are available. We are still open until we're forced to close down. Reach us by YouTube. We have all these videos and more. But we are at 719-565-6678. I even leave my cell number, 719-671-7756, to call and discuss these because it looks like we all might be having a lot of time, and I want to make sure you do them properly and you don't get behind in the surgery you just had.